Hi, this is Paul Evans, CEO of Nicheology and the founder of the Profit Academy, which you're viewing right now. And this month, we're going to look at psychological wiretapping, entering a little bit into the psychology of sales, triggers, doing things, though, as always, ethically and with integrity. So what we're going to cover this month, number one, 7 sales triggers, and these are all ethical sales triggers. Headlines that grab and keep attention. That's really the basic element that we need in all of our sales pages, our squeeze pages, even our free giveaway pages that have a headline that really grabs people. I'm going to go over about 4 of those just so you can see a pattern structure of what really grabs and keeps people on the page. The number one power combination for making more money. I've done a little bit of this training before in previous Profit Academies, but I thought it was worth a revisit because this power combination is so strong that once we understand it within our markets, it really allows us some great but ethical leverage. All right, the number one thing you must eliminate if you want more sales is what we're going to cover after that. And then finally, 5 integrity-based closing tactics and how reasoning with your people will lead to more money. So let's get started. Here is what it said from Psychology Today about human behavior. It's a product both of our innate human nature and of our individual experience and environment. And so here's how I'm tying this in to online sales. The better we understand our innate human nature and the average individual experience and environment of our market, the more accurately we can predict behavior, which is really critical in sales. You have to know the outcome. Now, this is something that I've learned, I guess, all these years that I've been in public speaking, professional speaking, sales training, etc., and that is understanding the audience ahead of time. When I stand up in front of an audience, I know whether or not a joke is going to work. If I go to a foreign country, a country that's not my own, I have to ask them about humor. And there's been plenty of times that I've told a joke that I didn't even think was funny, but they laughed because they understood based on their experience and based on their environment. And so the better we're able to understand our audience, our market, the more accurately we can predict the behavior, and especially when that comes to our desire of making more sales. So innate human nature. There would be nothing wrong at all for you to buy a book on psychology, even if it was Psychology for Dummies. I think it's a great book. I've read through that to give you the root elements of human nature. You know, that our desire for self-interest, our desire to have strong self-esteem, our desire for control. This flows throughout humanity. Even among people who seem to be very selfless, still can be motivated and encouraged to go in a certain direction based on their personal desires and what they want to see as an outcome. So it's innate human nature. Now, the average individual experience and environment of our market. This is critical because each one of our markets is going to be different so that we understand what the average experience is and what the environment of our market is. So let's use an extreme example. Let's use those who are 100 pounds or more overweight. You know, the individual experience that these people are going through is going to be challenged, is going to be physically challenged because of the world's not being set up for that. Different seats, sizes, such as on the bus or on an airplane. The environment of our market, you know, what are they feeling when they go into a restaurant and they order? Does the waiter or the waitress think they're ordering too much or think that they are ordering the wrong thing? So it's an extreme example, but you understand how that can be a day-to-day experience and environment that is undesired. So what is that in your market? What is it that the average person in your market experiences in relation to the problems, the challenges of the marketplace. Now, what about their environment? What are they facing day by day that is preventing them from reaching whatever the end result is? What's the end goal? What are they wanting to change? But what is it about their environment that is preventing that? And so when you know the average experience and you know the average environment, it allows you to accurately predict behavior. Because if I understand my market and I understand what they really want to do, then it allows me to frame my sales copy, to frame my offers, to frame my products in a way that reflects what they want their outcome to be. So you need to get out a sheet of paper, and sometime this week, you need to write down what you believe to be the individual experience, average individual experience of your market, and the average environment that your market is in. Now, some of these things are going to be very physical. Here's what's physically preventing them from reaching the goal. Some of these are going to be very intangible, such as emotions, things that they're feeling, lack of belief, overwhelm, frustration. So you've got to write those things down as specifically as possible so that you really know your market. Often when we go to make a sale, we tend to think, well, this product's really good. I think it's really going to be helpful. And that's the way we sell it. You need to get this because of X, Y, and Z. And this particular training is not about writing sales copy, but understand that this is going to help you in your sales copy. The more that you understand human beings, it's going to allow you to write your sales copy a lot more effectively. And when we get to the 7 triggers, those can flow through your sales copy as well. But make sure this week you get out a sheet of paper and write down, physically write down. Don't just think about this. It's not a mental exercise. It's a physical exercise. Write down what the experience is, what the environment is. And then once you have that written down, what does that tell you about the way that you need to frame your offers or the way that you need to write your emails in order to predict behavior? For example, let's use golf. It's one of my niches. I know that the average golfer is dissatisfied with the direction of their drives and is dissatisfied with how far their drives go. All right, so that's just a given. The average individual experience is that they're not driving it long and they're not hitting it straight. And their environment psychologically is that they're frustrated, they're wanting to quit, they don't understand how their buddies are able to hit the ball so much better than they are when they are actually practicing or playing more, which is critical. So if their environment is that they are practicing more and they're playing more than their buddies, but their buddies are out hitting them and outscoring them, now we've got a negative psychological environment. So if I take that and I reframe it in my copy or even in an article, in an email, and it says, one of the things that really bothers me, and I don't know if you're this way, but chances are you are. I'd word that a little bit better. And you're already saying, this is the way that I am feeling. So you're not just pointing the finger, you're in with them. One of the things that frustrates me the most is that I feel like I practice a pretty good amount, and I feel like I get to play a decent amount. In fact, far more than my buddies. And yet they keep beating me. They outdrive me. They hit the ball straighter. It doesn't make any sense. And I really wanted to give up and quit. So what have I done? I've just mirrored the entire environment and experience of the average individual in my market. And so now I'm able to say, but all of that changed when I ... and let's say it's in an email and I had a link, continue reading here. I can predict the behavior. There's not going to be anyone who doesn't click that link. It's going to be a high click-through rate for anybody that actually opened up that email, at least for the average person on my email list, because I've basically mirrored their environment, I've mirrored their experience, and I've given them something to do, a behavior, and that behavior was clicking, and that's what they would do. Then on the sales page, I would again start with that mirroring, and then I would share what changed. And then they're going to want access to that. So what are some of those access triggers that we can use to really make things different? Well, what we can do is understand and learn from children because they are able to have the greatest leverage and trigger possible. They understand psychology and human emotion more than anybody else without having any understanding at all. They know from birth, anytime they cried, their parent came in, that they would be rescued, that their problems would be solved. And what is it from the parent side? The average parent feels overwhelmed. This is the average parent, not the super parents, but the average parent feels overwhelmed, feels like they don't understand exactly what to do, especially with that first child. By the fourth child, you're kind of like, all right, they're going to make it. But the first child, you're just exasperated, and you're wanting to do anything to make your child happy. So that innate psychology is really the same facet in the marketplace. Now, this is a little bit crazy, a little bit over the top, because I don't want to downplay our roles here or make it too not too simplified, but I don't want to seem like we're unimportant or I'm stereotyping. But for the most part, the marketplace is crying. The marketplace is frustrated. And if I can go this far with the analogy, we are the parents. We are the ones solving the problem. We've heard the cry of the marketplace, and we're coming in to rescue, to solve the problem. And that should be natural for both parties. It should be natural for the marketplace to cry out in need of help, and it should be natural that we come into the rescue. Now, because they're not crying like a baby, we have to recognize their crying in our newsletters or in our videos or in our sales pages, so that we are letting them know we recognize what's going on. And that's exactly what I did when I mirrored. I don't know if you feel like me, but I'm sick and tired of my buddies out driving me when I practice more than they do and I play more than they do. All right, so I've taken the cry of the marketplace, I've allowed it to come out of my mouth to validate, and then we're going to come to the rescue with solving the problem. Okay, so 7 ethical sales triggers. How do we solve the problem? How do we ethically present an offer without manipulating, without causing people to think we're trying to rip them off, without people thinking, oh, you just won't make money. You'll do anything to make money. People will write in and say that to you. If you really cared for people, you'd do X, Y, and Z. All those always crack me up because it's interesting the number of people that want you to do something great and free who are going to be out there charging money for what they got free from you. So it's kind of bizarre. All right, ethical sales trigger number 1. Now. You can save time, save money. I've got a limited number of whatever it is that I'm selling. You're going to have instant gratification. Now is a big leverage point in our society. We hate to wait. A lot of today's books, unless they're novels, but a lot of today's nonfiction books are shorter than ever. I've got a book right here. In fact, I gave away one of these a few weeks ago in one of our comment contests. Let's see, this is Do the Work. It's got big print in it. It's 98 pages, and it's a small book. I think this is like a 5 by 6, 5 by 6.5 or something. It is really an easy read. You could just about read this in an hour if you just got average reading speed. And that's even taking notes and underlining it. And so it's a very small book. Why? Because people want now. I want the answer right now. I want to get it done now. I want this problem solved now. I want this solved today. I don't want to wait. When I call to get my car fixed, no, I don't want to bring it in on Friday. I want to bring it in today. No, I don't want to have to wait, 3 days for it to be fixed. I'll sit in the lobby and I want to get it right now. So now is a huge psychological trigger. It is an ethical trigger if we can produce it now. If we know this is what we have on the line, this is what we're going to deliver, or this is how quickly a person can get this answer, this solution, we need to use that in our leverage. Last month's Profit Academy, when I talked about the local market, the way that I charge for websites. And I can't remember the exact numbers that I used then, but let's say that in a month, if somebody wanted a website in a month, I might charge $1,500. If they want it in 2 weeks, $2,500. If they want it in 2 days, $5,000. It's the exact same website, but it's based on speed. So now is a great leverage for pricing, but it's great leverage for sales. So if a person really wants something solved and you can prove that you're going to be able to solve the problem now, that's going to be helpful. If they're going to save time. Everybody else's course out here says that this is going to take you 6 weeks. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to take you 3 days. And you really boost the time saving. You see this a lot in golf. Y'all can straighten out your golf swing in just 10 minutes or in under 5 minutes with this one simple drill. So they're saving time. A limited number is now. You've got until X date at X time before the cutoff is. Or if we say that there are only 200 slots and we're at 175, well, people are starting to move on that. And then the whole instant gratification. If people have been waiting, if they've been thinking, if they've not been able to make up their mind, then using the leverage of now will allow them to go ahead and pull that trigger and make the purchase. So in each one of these 7, make sure you got a sheet of notebook paper out, you're writing these down, and that you're also thinking about how you can apply it. Look through your sales pages, your email copy, and there may be some ways that you can apply now. Second, try today. Now this works especially great with software and also with membership sites, where a person for $1 or free or $5 can try it right now. That they don't feel like they've got to risk all of their money. They can simply do a little trial, and it alleviates the risk and allows them to feel like they're making a great decision. We'll talk about that a little bit more later because that's really important. If people are wondering at the point of purchase, I don't really know if I should do this. I'm not sure, maybe I should give it a shot. But when you say, just try it today, and here's how easy it is to cancel, boom. All right, so you've given them a great reason to buy, and you've taken away some of the doubt, and you've allowed them to feel like they are really making a good decision by doing the trial. The reason that that's really critical with software is that most people feel like software is over their head, and that it's confusing and it's going to be hard to understand. It's going to be hard to get in there and really get to use it in time. And people don't like to pay for something they are going to have to learn to use. They feel like they ought to be able to access it free, learn to use it, and then start paying when they've had time to actually use the software. And that makes sense. I think it's fair. It's equitable. Number 3, visioneering. Help people see the result. This could be through a story. This can be through allowing them to experience something opposite of what they're experiencing now. Going back to a couple of examples from earlier, so that you're working with this extreme overweight market, and imagine when you drop that first 50 pounds. Imagine the looks on the street. Imagine the people when you show up at your class reunion, the people who don't recognize you, who don't think that you went to school together because you've dropped the weight. How's it going to feel when they ask what you did, because now they are envious of you? So, now you're painting a picture. You're allowing them to experience what the result is going to bring for them. Okay, on the golf course. Imagine what's going to happen. Or how about, sometimes imagine makes people feel like, okay, it's not really real. You could say something along these lines. Think about it this way. This Saturday, you step up on the first tee and you've got a secret. You know that your buddies are waiting to see that soft drive to the right. It goes out about 200 yards, it peels off to the right into the woods, and once again you've started the round in trouble. But you know that you've used the X method, and you know that your drive is going to be 20 yards farther than their longest drive, and it's going to be down the middle, and it's going to be straight. And here's what I want you to do. Act like nothing unusual happened. Hit your drive. Let it fly. Your buddies will be staring in amazement, but don't even look at them. Just bend over, grab your tee, step back, and let the next guy hit. So that type of imagery allows people to see what that end result is going to be. So you can help them envision that, help them to become a participant in the story. You've got a huge opportunity for an ethical sales trigger. As long as, sidebar, as long as you can produce that result. Because visioneering is something that would be very easy to manipulate. You can always create scenarios that would be ideal, that everybody wants. Question is, can you deliver that? If you can, it's ethical. Number 4 is justification. People want/need an excuse. The old marketing adage, people buy on emotion, they justify with logic. They need a reason or an excuse to buy. That's what I was mentioning back in number 2. When you give them a trial, you're giving them a reason to buy. When you give now in terms of saving money or a limited number, it's justification. If I don't get in right now, I'm not going to get X, Y, and Z. Or I'm not going to save $20. Or I'm not going to be able to get the extra coaching call. Or I'm going to be behind everybody else in this program if I decide a month later that this is what I want to do. Okay, so the justification is that people want and need an excuse. So supply it. Give them a reason to buy right now. Give them a reason not to leave the page. Now, there's the positive and the negative side of that. On the negative, and we all tend to use this, probably overuse it, is to say something like, if you decide not to order now, where are you going to be in 3 weeks? What's going to happen to your plans? What's going to happen to your goals? Whatever you were dreaming of doing is not going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. You haven't done it yet. Look over the past few weeks, few months, maybe even a few years. And how many times did you say you were going to do X, but you didn't? And here's what I know. If you don't decide to get in right now, then 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, you'll still be having the hope. You'll still be having the dream. You'll still be saying, one day I will. The truth is, you could turn one day into today by ordering now. So that's kind of a negative slant on it. On the positive side, you can say, why don't you do yourself a favor? Why don't you finally take that step you've always wanted to take? You've been meaning to take it. So now you're doing it on a very positive way. If you can justify in any other way that's tangible, such as, there's an early bird special or there is a limited number, then it's going to justify it for them. Anytime you can give people a reason or an excuse to buy, then that lodges in their mind and allows them to move forward. Number 5, relief. Finally, you can let your mind rest. I think that the average person in the market is like this. And I think for the most part, my mind tends to work like a lot of average people's mind. And that is that we don't want to be wrong. And so in the process of not becoming wrong, we tend to investigate a lot of different possibilities. I can tell you straight up, anytime that I'm going to a new city or I'm taking my girl to the new city for the first time, I am concerned about the hotel. I'm concerned about where we're going to eat. I'm concerned about navigating the city. I don't want to stay in a low-level hotel. I don't want to eat bad food, and I don't want to get lost. And so what I end up doing is I end up booking us at a hotel in which I know that there is no question about the accommodations. and I will look at 100 hotels, and I end up in some luxury hotel because I don't want the risk. And when it comes to food, I will research food. I will go to TripAdvisor. I'll find out what people are saying, and I'll make a list of all that. And then finally, talking about getting there and getting around. Now, some people really love the whole adventure aspect. Just let me get out there and wander around. But we're usually in a city for a short amount of time. We don't want to wander. We want to see the highlights. And so what do? I hire a guide. Because with a guide, I'm not getting lost, and I'm going to get to see the cool stuff. So we've got a trip coming up. We're going to London in just a couple of weeks. And I was researching everything. I was overwhelmed. Thinking, man, what in the world are we going to do? How are we going to get around? But once I decided on a great hotel, decided on great food, and decided on a great guide, relief. Man, I've been relaxed ever since. So it's a huge sales trigger if you can take care of things for people. If there is a way for you to take the load off of your people, and do something for them, provide for them a shortcut, allow them to stop thinking, to make the decision for them, it's really going to work out to your benefit. Because people don't want to buy something that is going to just put them in another state of tension, another state of frustration. They want to feel like the purpose is an answer, is a solution. And even if it's the first step, they believe that it's the correct first step down this path. So in what ways can you share relief? Often this comes through testimonials where people are saying, wow, until I found the X guide from Sherry, I was lost. I was wandering about. My head was filled with all sorts of junk and cobwebs. I could never make a solid decision in life. And now, for the first time, I've got clarity. So you've got that relief built into it, and testimonials are a great way to bring relief to the picture. Number 6 is simplicity. Please, please, please make it easy. This is what people are saying. And that is one of the things that, for the most part, we should be able to deliver that. I know that I've messed up with this many times over the years because I was assuming people were at a farther down the road starting position than I thought they were. And once I realized that 80%, maybe even 90% of the marketplace does not have the background that I have the background in, then I start to understand that they don't get upset when things are simple. They get excited. They don't want to get in and feel like they've gotten it over their heads or it's too complicated. Now, what's odd about that is that people really do want advanced tactics, advanced strategies, but they want them to be able to be implemented simply, quickly, easily, without a lot of stress, because nobody wants to be made to feel dumb. And when you buy a product that on the sales page, basically promise the world, right? When you buy something that promises the world and you get in there and you find out the world is big and it's complicated and there's so many moving parts, and it seems like on the sales page, everybody totally got this. Well, that's what the testimonial said. That's what the sales copy said. But I'm getting in here and I'm confused. I must be stupid. All right, so we can't make people feel that way. We want them to feel like this is simple. And most things, the best things in life, really are simple. It shouldn't really take a lot of work. Now, there can be a learning curve, but we can train people in steps rather than expect them to take the curve at 180 miles an hour. And then number 7 is you. This is the biggest ethical sales trigger to me. Your relationship will become authority. When you have a solid, loyal following, and go back and review the videos in Build Your List, it's under the core training section of Nicheology. But look especially at that loyalty module. When you build a relationship, people will start buying without reading your sales pages. And you'll know that because you'll release a new product and the sales will come in so fast that nobody read at least the first 20 orders, nobody read the sales copy. They bought because they trusted you. And that is the biggest ethical sales trigger. When people trust you, when they like you, when they know you, then you can make a recommendation and people will buy based on that. The way that you build that reputation, obviously, is just to remain honest. If you blow it with a product recommendation and didn't feel like you looked at it as close as you should have, you can always go back and say, guys, you know what? I blew it on this. To make it up to you, here's what I'm going to do. You know what? I didn't realize that guy was going to have 528 upsells and that it was going to cost you your inheritance. That's my bad. So you can come back to the table and still keep your integrity and keep your credibility. But the you factor is huge. Your relationship will become authority. That's developed over time. It's not going to be immediate, but it can be shortened when you continue to present solid content, helpful content. It doesn't look like you're always trying to make a buck, but you sincerely love your market and you sincerely love your clients, your customers, and those who are on your email list, that you love your audience. It's a huge leverage point. And so don't overlook it, and certainly, and you wouldn't, but don't misuse it. All right, headlines that grab and keep attention. We'll go through these fairly quickly, but it gives you a little bit of a pattern and a structure to look at, and certainly you can use these 4 as templates. Number 1, you can blank even if blank. You can lose weight fast even if you love going out to eat. You too can change the oil in your car, even if you don't know the difference between lipstick and the dipstick. You can have a beautiful wedding, even if you're on a shoestring budget. All right, so this is a great attention-keeping headline, something right out of the bag to really get their minds engaged and hit that trigger. You can. See, that's a big psychological trigger because most people think they can't, and they've got a reason. People will always tell you their reason. I've always wanted to lose weight, but I can't because. I've always wanted to do X, Y, and Z, but I can't because. So now you say you can lose weight fast. They didn't just say you can lose weight. You can lose weight fast, even if you love going out to eat. So the even if is something that people would say, yeah, I'd lose weight. I could lose weight if I just didn't eat out so much. You can lose weight fast, even if you love going out to eat. So it's a great headline. It grabs attention. It's juxtaposition with the positive you can, and then the even if is something that sounds like it shouldn't be possible, but it is. All right, second headline, how to blank in just blank. So we're dealing with a time factor here. This is close to the number 1 trigger of now. How to safely and easily lose 5 pounds in just 5 days. How to get rid of your dog's fleas in just 1 afternoon. How to get your ex back in just 7 days. So you've got a time factor that's in play, and that generally captures people's attention because they want to do things fast. I want to do things fast. I think the whole marketplace would rather somebody say, hey, I want you to know you can lose 5 pounds in 5 days, much more than saying, hey, you can lose 5 pounds in 5 weeks, which is really what your goal should be because that's how you're going to remain healthy. All right, people don't really want that, even though that's more of the truth. They love a time frame that is compressed. So if you can compress time, you're going to have some leverage. Number 3, how a blank quickly and easily blank. How a truck driver quickly and easily turned $892 into $289,598. How a former shy kid quickly and easily became the most popular kid in school. How a pack-a-day smoker quickly and easily gave up cigarettes. So the how A is an individual that makes people feel, wow, if they did it, I can do it. Okay, so it's at a point in their life in which people are saying all these other people can do it, but I can't. So now you bring into the picture someone that, and there's no other way to put this, but they either feel on par with these people or they feel better than these people. A lot of people love to watch Seinfeld because George Costanza always made them feel better about themselves, right? So how a truck driver did this, how a former shy kid, And there may be somebody that doesn't really think that they're shy, but they're a little bit introverted. So they go, wow, if a shy kid did this, man, I can do this. How a pack-a-day smoker, it may even say how a 3-pack-a-day smoker. Wow, I only smoke a pack. A 3-packer did it. I can do it. So that's that trigger. And then number 4, headline, blank swears under oath. This is an old Gary Halbert headline. It's really powerful. It's always really fun. Also fun. Average student who aced the SAT test swears under oath, I didn't cheat. Obscenely wealthy online marketer swears under oath, I don't sell porn. I love that one. Marley used to tell folks when they would say, hey, what's your husband do? She would say, I don't know. He like makes a bunch of videos and puts those online. I said, babe, you can't be telling people that. That does not sound right. A blackjack player routinely beats the casino but swears under oath, I never count cards. So the swears under oath is really good. So someone who struggling sugar addict swears under oath, I lost 50 pounds without blank, blank, blank. So anytime that you can take that individual who swears under oath, and it's an individual that people can kind of dream about or connect with, because this is kind of opposite of the last one. The last one was average person and then does something great. This is average person does something great on the front side and then swears that they didn't cheat, they didn't break the rules. Because how in the world did an average person do this? How does somebody routinely beat the casino? This doesn't make sense. I never count cards. I never cheat. I never do X, Y, and Z. So another powerful headline that gets attention. All right, let's move on to the next section, which is the number 1 power combination. I believe that I've covered this before in a previous a Prophet Academy, but it's worth revisiting because this is a power combination. Number 1 of the power combination is, how long has your market had this problem? How long have they been trying to lose weight? How long have they been wanting to make money online? How long have they been wanting to hit the golf ball straight? How long have they been wanting to achieve their goals? How long have they wanted to learn Spanish? How long have they been trying to play the guitar? So how long? We need a time frame here. And the longer, the better. Often we can group people, and that helps. If a person's only been trying a month or 2, we don't have a lot of leverage there. But if the headline said something, if you've been trying for more than 6 months to play the guitar, I guarantee you can play your favorite song by tomorrow afternoon. Even if your family screams for you to stop your practice. That was a bad ending, but you know what I'm saying. So how long they had this problem? Next is how deep. How much does it really bother them? Let's say that the person doesn't really care about playing the guitar. They've just thought it was kind of neat, and they thought that it would be cool to be able to play some with their friends who also play instruments, but it's no big deal. Their life isn't over if they don't learn to play. On the opposite side, there could be those who feel like they're drowning. They're about to get kicked out of the band. They just don't play good enough. And there's this other cat from down the street that's really got some mad skills, and they better get on it or they're going to lose their position. So they feel like they're drowning, and maybe they've been trying for the past year to really improve, but they haven't. But you've got like the pro scale guitar tabular system of Jimi Hendrix Excellence program, and you're going to be able to solve their problem in the next month, and that would be time to rescue them in the next 30 days, in the next 14 days. So how long have they had the problem, and how deep is this pain? How much are they really bothered by this? And if people don't really care, it really doesn't matter what the trigger is. You have to kind of use the trial deal. Say, you know what? Hey, just give it a shot. But the person who's drowning, they need to be rescued, and they may feel like this is their last chance. So a lot of leverage. And then finally, how fast can you solve this problem? How fast can you solve it? And if you can solve it super fast, then state how quickly the average person is able to do X, Y, and Z. If I tell people that once they go through my WordPress course, they're going to be able to install WordPress on any of their websites in under 5 minutes, and that includes installing a brand new template and the SEO plugin. All right, under 5 minutes, that's pretty fast. If people have been wanting to get WordPress up and really understand it for the last 6 months, and all right, I go, okay, no playing around. I've got some new tutorials on WordPress. Here's what I'm covering: install, themes, widgetized sidebar, and plugin. And what's going to happen is that in under 5 minutes, you're going to be able to do all of those once you've gone through my system. All right, that'd be a great promise of time. If a person's dog has been peeing on the carpet for the past 6 months and you promise to solve it in 24 hours, all right, it's worth it. There's a lot of pain, and you're going to deliver a fast solution. Fast almost always has to be part of the scenario because there are very few people who are patient and really will wait on getting the results they want. So that's the power combination. The number one thing you must eliminate risk. You got to take this out of the way, or people, just as many people, will not buy. They just won't do it. If you say there are absolutely no refunds, it will depress response, guaranteed. Some people will buy that. They like it. And I've used it before and used it pretty successfully. When I say there's no refunds, I do that in my coaching program. There's no refunds. I can't get my time back, so I'm not going to be able to refund that. So the risk element, if you can eliminate it, it's going to be a pretty powerful move. So here are some ways to do that. Number one is the trial period. It's a $1 trial period for 7 days, for 14 days, for the first month. Hey, there's really no risk here. You can cancel it anytime. Boom. The refund. If you say, look, you want to get a refund? No problem. Here's how. And so you are able to go on record and say 100% no hassle guarantee. So that helps people take the risk out. A refund plus, I've seen this used a lot of times. I know some of my buddies who do a double refund. Hey, if this doesn't work for you, if it's not for you, just request a refund. I give you double your money back. Usually, though, there's a caveat here, and a person has to prove they used the product. So they have to make it to a certain level. They have to prove, okay, they have to prove it didn't work, or they have to prove they were incompetent. So that's basically what's going on with the Refund Plus. Contact information and phone. This helps alleviate risk. If you have any problems with the product at all, here's how you get in touch with me. Here's my phone number. Hey, if you want a refund, just call me on my phone number. In fact, before you order, go ahead and call now. You'll hear my voice, and if I'm around, I'll answer. And if I'm not, just leave a message. It's no big deal. Support Center. You've got a link to that. That helps as well, especially if you're talking about a refund. You say, look, if it's not for you, here's a link right here on the sales page to the Support Center. It's not hidden. It's right here and open in plain sight. And all you have to do is put in the subject line a cancellation and refund. So pretty simple. A coaching call, all right? So this is a little bit different. This is like a bonus. So if part of the risk is people are thinking, I'd like this product, I'd like to give it a try, but I'm afraid it might be over my head. Then if you say, hey, everybody that buys this product, I'm going to do weekly training for the next 4 weeks to make sure that you don't have any questions and you're able to implement it. This works out extremely well with affiliate products. A refund testimonial. If you have on video or on the page, hey, I bought a ton of Paul's products and I love them. I've never been disappointed. However, this product that you're looking at right now wasn't for me. Now, I felt a little bit bad because I bought so much great stuff. I've been such a great customer. But I really felt like, you know what? I just am not going to do this. It doesn't match my personality type. And I just decided to get a refund. I was a little bit embarrassed. But Paul processed the refund without any questions. It was no problem, hassle-free. And so that type of refund testimonial will work. Now, will some people look at it at it as an opportunity to game the system? Of course, but it could be worth it. I've used this very successfully when I tell people there's no upsells. Hey, when you order my Simple Six figures today, no upsells. You get the entire package. You don't need a deluxe version. There's not a gotcha. It's not a lower version of the system. And if you really want it to work, then you've got to get this massive upgrade. Nope. Everything's including the clarity call, which you'll get all of your Simple Six questions answered. And so being able to state no upsells really helps people see that this is it, that they're getting the entire package. So those are several ways to eliminate risk. 5 integrity closing tactics. 5 ways to close with integrity. Number 1 is the demonstration. You allow people to see exactly what your stuff does. Now, the demonstration could be in the form of a testimonial. If you've got before and after shots, if you are a person that helps people create websites, you've actually got pictures of people's websites up. That works. If it is software and you take people through tutorials, if you step-by-step them through a system and demonstrate that it works, then you've got a great closing tactic because people see that it's real. If you do a walkthrough of the product itself and you demonstrate what people are going to see on the back side, and I'm going to cover this from a slightly different angle here in a second, but if they get to see what's inside the members area, if they get to see what's inside the product, then that helps. The checkout walkthrough, people are a little bit nervous, wondering exactly what's going to happen, what's happening to their credit card, how quick is this process going to be, what if there's an issue, and if you will actually buy your product and video it and allow people to see exactly what they're going to see in the checkout, it increases sales because people feel comfortable. They feel like, okay, I get it. I'm going to check out, I'm going to see these screens, and I get inside. That's got to be congruent, though. They need to recognize and see things as very familiar when they go through this process. So when they get to that first screen, it looks just like your screen. Second screen, just like your screen. Final download page, just like your screen. That way, they feel like it's part of the process. Now, on a live webinar, Carrie Wilkerson and I do this, and I learned it from Carrie, is you can actually do a walkthrough sales. So you tell everybody, all right, I want everybody right now to put in this URL, type in I'mReadyToBuy.com, and everybody put that in. Okay, so now everybody should be on the checkout page. Or raise your hand if you're not on the checkout page, okay? Jeff is not there yet. We're going to wait on Jeff. Jeff, just raise your hand when you get there. Okay, Jeff's on the checkout page. All right, so here's what it looks like. Here's what you need to do first. Go ahead and enter your name and enter your address information. And then notice it says here $97. Now I've got a coupon for you. And I want you to put this coupon in at the very bottom because it's going to give you a 25% discount. So I want everybody to scroll down to the bottom to where you see the coupon. And I want you to put in this code word. So you start giving them a walkthrough and they're doing it with you on a webinar. Huge, really makes an incredible difference, and you'll increase your closing. It's totally integrity too. That's what I love about it. And if you use the coupon deal, through the roof. Number 3, risk-free video. Risk-free video. And that's where it's just you letting them know that there really is nothing that's hidden. That you're allowing your eye contact and your physical presence, your voice and your demeanor to give them confidence, to know that they can trust you. Number 4 is the mystery bonus. You can say that I've got a great bonus for you that I don't want to reveal because I tend to sell this for $297, whatever, and it's free with this. If you've got a solid product, it can't be a junk bonus, but you can have just a package there of a box with a bow on it or an empty bag. One guy used to do the briefcase or the red briefcase or something like that, and you didn't know what was inside. You just knew it was something cool, and so you never even knew what you were buying until you ordered. He would say It consists of these benefits. This is what you'll get from it. But you never knew really what it was till you bought it. And so that type of mystery bonus can sometimes work. And I think it's integrity as long as it's strong. And if you've got a testimonial right there with it that says, hey, this bonus is just as good, may not say better than, but is just as good as the product, it'll really work out well. And then a results guarantee. I really like this on anything that is performance-based with software. I guarantee that you can have your website up in. I guarantee that you can buy your first domain by 3 this afternoon. I guarantee that if you follow these steps, you will have this result. I guarantee you'll have your Facebook page up by X, Y, and Z. So if you can guarantee a result, now things you can't guarantee, unless you're going to give them money, you can't guarantee they're going to make any money. You just can't. You can't guarantee that somebody's going to lose weight because you don't know their physicality. You don't know their discipline. You don't know if they'll actually follow your plan. Now, of course, if you were to say, I guarantee if you drink nothing but water over the next 3 days, you're going to lose 3 pounds. It's a little risky. But, that's your call if you're a doctor and you can get away with it. But a results guarantee, if you know that people can perform certain steps and you're 100% positive that if they perform those steps, they will at minimum get X result, it's a great closing tactic because it allows people to say, okay, he's on the line. If I don't have this result, if I do these steps and don't have this result, then I'll just get a refund. So it allows people to see, to envision what they're going to do, and allows you a strong position of selling. And you may not be able to do all 5 of these. That's fine. Choose 1 or 2 that work well for you and go with it. And then how reasoning with people can close more sales. How reasoning with people can close more sales. Number 1, you reason by having a live chat. You allow people to talk. Some people just have questions. They've got doubts. They don't know if this is real. This page sure is just a bunch of text on here. I've seen a bunch of these big, bold headline, promise scam pages, and I need to talk to a human being. So that's reasoning, sharing with, communicating with, and it really does give them a reason to buy because it becomes real and tangible to them. Second, a question 24-hour email. Got any question about this product? Not sure if you want to buy yet? Shoot me an email and let me know what's holding you back or what questions you have, and I'll reply. And this is going to be a little bit unusual. If you give me your scenario and I don't think this is a fit for you, I'll be upfront about it and I'll tell you that. In fact, I've had several people that I've encouraged them to go and get X, Y, and Z. And so that works sometimes. And so you've got to think about, okay, given this particular product, will this question and answer 24-hour email deal, and when by 24 hours saying I'll get back to you within 24 hours. So I'll get back with you. By this time tomorrow, you'll have an answer from me personally. So you got to think about the market. As I'm throwing out all these things in the Profit Academy, I'm not saying you got to do all these things. I'm saying you got to think about your market and you got to apply what works best there. And then a phone number. If you are available certain hours of the day and you love talking to people, just tell them to give you a call. I guarantee you, if you get, see the guaranteed results, I guarantee that if you get on the phone with people, you're going to make more sales, period. If you had a little capture form there that said, hey, still not sure if this is for you. I've got a certain number of hours a day that I'm available. Just email me your phone number and I will give you a call and answer your questions. And, some people you might get hung up on the phone with, and other people might just be like so blown away that you called back. Some people are just testing you. They'll just order on the spot. One thing, when you call people, make sure that you've got the order link they need to go to. In fact, I would tell them while I was on the phone with them, hey, go ahead and pull up your laptop. Let's type this in. Let's do this right now. There's no reason to wait any longer. And what I've seen is that sometimes people get off the phone, they start thinking about it, they get off the phone, they get busy, and then 6 weeks later, they say, hey, what was that site again? I feel like I've really blown it. I should have been so far ahead of this by now. Let's just solve all that, get your laptop, let's get this done, let's get you rocking and rolling. All right, so those are 3 ways to reason with people to close more sales. Well, that's it for this month's Profit Academy on psychological wiretapping. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Understand just innate behavior of human beings. Understand their average experiences and their average environment. And if you understand those things, then you can predict behavior. Hope you took notes on this. Make sure that you go ahead and download this video if you've not already. Download that to your hard drive, and make sure you go through the exercises that we covered. As always, success is not an accident. Be blessed.